Mario Kart has given us some of the most iconic racetracks in gaming history, from chaotic city streets, racing in space, and many more. But now that Mario Kart World is here, people are already dreaming about which retro tracks could make a comeback in upcoming DLC. When it comes to Mario Kart Retro Tracks, there's a million different choices to pick from, and it mainly comes down to opinions. So please list the retro track you would love to see in Mario Kart World, and please don't storm me with blue shells in the comments if I didn't list your favorite retro track. With all that being said, let's dive into the 10 retro Mario Kart tracks that have to return in Mario Kart World. Starting our list hot, we have DK Mountain. You start at the base of this massive volcano, get blasted out of a cannon straight to the summit, and then you drive through one of the bumpiest downhill roads in the series. Every corner in this track is very tight, and I'd love to see how they could use this for rail grinding. They could make it where the volcano erupts even more, just adding to the chaos of the track. I think the intermission for this track could be fantastic as well. They could easily just make it where volcano rocks just shoot out onto the track heading your direction. Dodging them while going up to a volcano would be a blast. With the updated graphics of Mario Kart World, it'd be so neat to see how much better it'd look as well. DK Mountain is an absolute classic, but the next track on our list might give it a run for its money, that being DS Luigi's Mansion. This track hasn't been remade once yet, which is honestly super shocking. This track contains the haunted house from Luigi's Mansion, which is one of the most iconic Nintendo games of all time. Not only that, but it contains many Easter eggs inside of the mansion. As you enter the mansion at the beginning of the race, you can see picture frames of the bosses you face in Luigi's Mansion. And as you exit the mansion, you're taken outside where there's mud everywhere on the roads, even walking trees that serve as obstacles. I would love to see what upgrades Nintendo could pull off with this track. Updated obstacles, better graphics, and rail grinding. The skies are really the limit for this track, and maybe throw in some enemies from Luigi's Mansion and you're in for one of the best tracks ever made in Mario Kart. Another Mario Kart DS track that needs to be added is Waluigi's Pinball. Waluigi's Pinball brings an arcade style theme to Mario Kart with its giant pinball machine setting. We can't forget the iconic cannon at the beginning of the race that launches you into the actual pinball machine. Racing inside this track actually feels like you're inside a pinball machine. Every corner is packed with bumpers that can send you flying in unexpected directions, making the race both chaotic and super fun. What really sets Waluigi Pinball apart is its perfect blend of skill and luck. Knowing when to avoid those bumpers or use them to your advantage can totally change the outcome of a race. Implementing this with Mario Kart World's mechanics could lead to an outstanding course. And speaking of iconic courses that bring their own unique twist, up next is Koopa Cape. This track was incredible on the Wii. I wasn't really a big fan of them getting rid of the electric shockers in 8 Deluxe, so if they do add this track, I would definitely want them to do the Wii version. But this track has you racing on a river, and if you drive on the water, it gives you a good little boost of speed. But there's plenty of shortcuts you can take on the grass. Once you get to the end of the river though, you're dropped into the iconic underwater pipe. This has always been one of my favorite sections out of any track. It used to be far more difficult with the electric shockers, which I hope they add back, because without them it does take away from some of the challenge this track used to have. Once you exit the pipe, you're at the waterfall section, which is a good place to clutch up with a mushroom, but if you drive through it without one, you're pretty much cooked. A track that everyone is shocked about not being here is Coconut Mall. It's by far one of the most iconic tracks in Mario Kart history. From the moment you start the track, you're already met with some escalators, which depending on which one you take, either slows you down or speeds you up. As you're driving to the mall, there's plenty of things you can trick off of, and of course, one of my favorite sections of the track comes towards the end with the cars. That part has always brought some difficulty to this track. With all of the elements Coconut Mall offers, Mario Kart World would elevate this track to a whole different level. I just know with the rail grinding this track would have, it would make it better than it already is. Next we have Toad's Turnpike 64. We desperately need a track like this in Mario Kart World. I know plenty of the intermissions contain vehicles that you have to dodge, but we really need a track that has a higher volume of traffic. I was hoping Crown City would fill that gap, but it's not nearly as hectic as I expected it to be. Toad's Turnpike would definitely fill that spot perfectly. Along with some upgrades like adding rails, it would be perfect. It's just disappointing that Crown City just didn't live up to the hype we all expected it to have. It's a really good track, don't get me wrong, but we just need one of those tracks that has that hectic highway feel that we always get. Maple Treeway is a stunning autumn themed track filled with a vibrant fall theme, which I absolutely love. Imagine this track with Mario Kart World's updated graphics. It would just elevate it so much more. This track has you shooting out of cannons, driving on tree branches, and dodging those wigglers. This track has always been a little on the challenging side, which is always a plus, because the tree branches are pretty narrow, so getting bumped off or running into an item is fairly common. But I would kill to see how Nintendo would utilize Mario Kart World's mechanics in this track. They could easily add a brand new wind mechanic to this track as well, and I think it would make it even more difficult fighting the wind as you're driving in the tree branches. And with how good they made Acorn Heights, I wouldn't imagine how good this track would be on Mario Kart World. From the the cozy, colorful, calm theme of Maple Treeway, up next is Rainbow Road 64. This is one of my favorite tracks of all time. The neon colored roads are just so gorgeous and satisfying to drive on. I would love a Mario Kart World makeover for it, because Rainbow Road 64 is one of the most iconic Mario Kart tracks ever made, and arguably one of the best Rainbow Roads ever made. I would say that they could add Mario Galaxy elements to it, but we already have a few tracks with that Galaxy themed element. I love the chain chomps that bounce on the track, and I think it would be pretty neat to see how they can extend on that. They could honestly make some sections have speed boost tracks, like from the new Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road. That would definitely help spice up the track a tad bit more, but other than that, this track would be an excellent addition to Mario Kart World. One track that definitely needs a makeover is Delfino Square. This has always been one of my favorite tracks. The beginning section where you drive that half circle, then enter the section with the buildings has always been a blast. I love the turns this track has to offer. They're very round and satisfying to drift on. We can't forget the ending part with the bridge. That has always been such a fun gimmick in this track. I just know if Nintendo gave Delfino Square a Mario Kart World makeover, it would be incredible. There's so much potential for rail grinding on this track. The atmosphere of this track is just amazing too. You're set in that Mario Sunshine tropical feeling, which is just amazing. And the setting being in a street market is just so perfect. I never thought driving around in a street market would be so much fun until I played it in Mario Kart. Lastly, we have Woohoo Island. This track would look breathtaking on Mario Kart World. I'm honestly shocked we haven't even seen this track since Mario Kart 7, since the whole island theme is such a fun idea. We really don't have a track like that either in Mario Kart World, so it would definitely fill in that spot. The fact it hasn't even been remade yet should boost it up as well in the ranking. I think it would be pretty interesting to see what Nintendo could do to vamp up this track, but I just know the intermission for this track would be insane. Well, I'm hoping at least a few of these tracks get added in whatever DLC we get for Mario Kart World in the future. Tell me in the comments what y'all think about my list, and tell me the tracks that you would like to see that I didn't include on mine. And while y'all are still here, if y'all enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It helps my channel out and it shows that I'm doing something right. With all that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed, and peace out.